Hi, this is Vicki Lynn. So Sylvia asked me to, and what I'm doing is I'm lighting Salapantra. It's a clearing ritual element that I love using in any ritual that I'm doing. And like whenever I'm in front of the videos, in front of my phone, or in front of, if I'm doing spiritual work at all, yeah, I love to clear the area and for the purity of it to come through. So Sylvia had asked about my awakening, about how the light language had came into place, and I know that I had made videos about this before. So I went into meditation, and I was like asking Arion and my guides. I was like, "Do I do another one?" And they, yes, 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 yes. It came through very, very strong from a new perspective. Because even when I think I told my story, and it was probably almost a year ago, uh, my perspective now on it has even changed, because we're change in movement, and as long as our life is moving, then we're growing and expanding. So but there was a time I didn't know about any of this, none of this. As a child, we all have past, we all have history there. We all knew when we came into earth. It's just that, our parents were taught to shut us down, and they did a great job at that. So with that, we all have passed. But I was at, wait a minute. And I'm grounding in and connecting at source and at heart level. So when I do this, the light language goes past your mind and into your heart. So any codes, decoding anything that's going on, I allow that to happen. And yeah, and that's what they do. So, and actually, it's an ancient version of me coming through. So it is actually me in in a different dimension coming through, because I am a collective of 12. I came in to realize that a lot of us are collectives. Uh, and what I mean more than a collective than your guide is that we're working from many different levels, is the way that I have learned, is that we're working on many different levels and many different dimensions on many different timelines. So, but when we come together as a collective, that's when I pull in all my guides, all my helpers, all the collective of me, and they come together, and then this unfolds in front of you. So I was not once aware, consciously aware at all. I lived in this society. I was a workaholic. I worked 12 to 16 hours a day. I had 4 children, and then I adopted my son, who is my grandson, and I adopted him at 8 months old. So he is my son. He just came to me in a different way. And but through this, I was a hairdresser for 30 years, and my life started tumbling. I had went through five, 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 5 marriages that made me grow. So I thank all those 5 marriages, all those men, and but through this, it was like 2 years of really bad. I really was in the dark side of what I would call my life. I was in the dark side of my life. My addiction then was sex. I was in the swinging sexual scene. But in that, I remember thinking, I remember, right? And I think I've talked about this. I was in the middle of an orgy, and I sat straight up, and I remember a saying in the Bible, and it said that you would have all the sex before you awoken. And that was the last time that I ever went to an orgy, did anything like that. And but how it all really came about, I was in and out of the hospital for 2 years. I was in the hospital more than I was out. Even my son thought that when we drove by the hospital, that was my other home. I had pancreatitis. The doctor had hit my gallbladder and hit my pancreas when he had taken out my gallbladder. So my pancreas kept closing up. So I'd been in hospital for like 6 weeks to 2 months. I'd get out for 1 or 2 weeks and go back in. So I was going through this walk of darkness, complete complete darkness. My my husband was having affairs, and not with girls but with guys, and it was just a big learning lesson. So this last husband was my biggest learning lesson, and I thank you. So it was one day I couldn't do it anymore. I was contemplating killing myself. I was contemplating I'm done with life, and I was sitting in the computer just like I'm sitting right here, and I was 48 years. It was July 15th, 2012, and I was sitting in front of the computer, and I was asking God. I said, God, there's got to be a new way. You got to show me a new way or take me home. I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I can't do this. I'm ready to go home. So my daughter Tasha walked into me, and she goes, Mom, I just watched this documentary, and she goes, I think that you'll like it. And so she's telling me about it, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. So anyway, we ended up watching it on the computer. We couldn't find it back on the TV. So we watched it on the computer, and it was about sun gazing. And this guy put his feet on the ground, and then he would gaze at the sun. And then you would do it for like 10 seconds, and you would add to it 10 seconds every day. And so it was really by really strict guidance. So that night, all my daughters were there, and even my son. So I asked them if they wanted to do this, because you can do sun gazing safely. I look at the sun now all the time. I don't care. So, but you can look at the sun safely an hour as it rises and an hour before it sets. And you put your feet on dirt, not on asphalt, because that's a disconnection. Grass is more of a conductor. So dirt works really well. And then drink water and put your hands over your eyes. Okay, and then you can see everything line up. Now, I didn't really explain what happened. It did say that it opened up your pineal gland, which later on I learned what that is. And that is our pineal gland, which is in our head, is to our spirit world. It is the way in to spirit world. So anyway, with all that, me and all my daughters decided that we were going to do the sun gazing. Changed my life. I immediately seen when I sun gazed, this portal opened up from the sun, and it was like vibrating, in different colors. Different colors were coming forward, and an angel, Archangel Michael. Now I know who it was. An angel came through, and so then I dropped to my knees, and then everybody walked away, and we only did this for 10 seconds. So I was looking at all my daughters, and I said, what do you feel? And they all looked bright, and they all looked like alive. And I felt alive. It makes your body feel alive. It's just an instant connection. So, so I asked my daughters, and my one daughter goes, Mom, it reminded me when I did math. And my one other daughter goes, yeah, it reminded me like when I did crank. And it was just so amazing. And they were like, oh my God. Well, we did it for 3 days together. And then after that, I started seeing so much spirit was coming to me. Animals were coming to me, and I was seeing them just like I'm seeing here, like this. And it was freaking my kids out. They were like, no, don't talk about this. Actually, I started telling my clients started getting freaked out. I started losing clients, and they were like, because this is weird to people. And I was seeing it just like nothing. Well, it had got to a place in my life that I had lost most of my friends. My kids wouldn't come around because all I could do was talk about what I was seeing, because I was sun gazing so much. I was sun gazing in the morning, I would sun gaze at night, and I was seeing, they were downloading me with so much, but I felt so alone. The loneliness was like crazy. So I kept asking, because I didn't really know what all this was. All I know is, because when I grew up Pentecostal, I asked a lot of questions, and they just would shut me down. And I didn't know anything about angels, but I was seeing them, and Jesus Christ came to me, and he handed me a cup, And I didn't know what all this was in the beginning. So it all started tying together. I would see, I'm not kidding, I would see dinosaurs, T-Rexes. I've seen everything. Aliens, I'm so connected to all that. So anyway, I was very lost. And one of my daughters decided that she was going to get back into my life no matter how weird her mom was. Thank you, Brooke. So anyway, I just fell in love from that. Absolutely. Because sometimes, even though that person looks weird, there's a reason of why that's going on, right? So, wow. I love you, Brooke. I love all my daughters. So anyway, she was a dental assistant at the time. And so this energy healer came into her to get her teeth clean. And my daughter always asked everybody what they did on their as their occupation. And so she's telling her, and she goes, "Oh my God, I got to tell you about my mom." Well, instantly, that's when I met Debbie. So from there, then I started working. There was another girl in the shop. We worked together like 6 months before she even knew, and I even knew that she was even spiritual. I had a hint, but she wasn't around very much, so, and I didn't want to get into anybody's business, but I had a hint that I said, and so I had mentioned something really out loud so she could hear it, and then we connected. So then she was my second connection to spiritual in the shop. And then from there, I started going to LA. We started going to LA. Then I started going, I kind of weaned off of her. Then I started going to LA, and then I started doing shaman courses for a couple of years. And then I went to Peru. From there, I have just went to every place that I could reach to get help of what was going on and understand. So with that, I wanted to do ayahuasca because I thought that ayahuasca was going to really open me up. And it did in some sense. When I was in Peru, ayahuasca did open me up to some sense of what life is about. But to tell you the truth, I've had as deep meditations that have taken me, if not deeper than the ayahuasca has taken me. So anyway, I started going to channelings. I started learning. I was learning all this information. I had the Galactic. They were coming to me. They were downloading me. They were working with me. Even though I didn't know too much, I actually learned more about the Galactic moving up here by Mount Shasta than I ever did by LA. So one day I was doing this for like, I don't know, 3 years at doing hair, and I seen my clientele dying. I could feel change coming in my life. And so my daughters by then had all moved up here to Shasta or up to Redding. And every time I came up here, I felt connected to the mountains. So one day, just one day, I woke up and my guides told me it's time to move. I went into my shop doing hair, and I had done hair in that town for 30 years. And I walked in and I said, I'm putting in my 2 weeks notice, I'm moving. They're like, what? They all dropped. It made it real when I started texting my clients and calling my clients. That made it really real. And so, yeah, I gave my life 2 weeks. So then what I did is I moved up here. And that was a complete shift too, because you're going through a birth, you're going through a newness. And now I have walked away from a whole life that I knew of security, and I had to leave my son. That was another thing that kept me there. That because my son, I had to leave with his dad, because that would have been a court thing. But I knew that I needed to do this journey myself. I needed to do it on my own. So I left my son there in Bakersfield, then I moved up here. And then my daughter moved out, and then I came up here. Then I got into like a depression. I felt alone. I felt, even though I had my family around me now, I felt alone. I felt really, really alone. And I was meditating every day, and with the depression and the inside was just going deeper. And plus I was cleaning this house and putting my stuff away, and plus letting go of a whole lifetime. I was letting go of a whole lifetime that I knew. So I was going, wow. And that's what it was. I was going through a grieving period of a whole lifetime that I had known. So how light language came in. Now, when I was doing the channeling, I hear spirit, I can visually see spirit. Now that has all changed over the years of how I see and how I hear. And I feel my knowing, my intuition is very in tune, and it's just gotten stronger and stronger and stronger. Well, the energies up here are so strong, they're realigning me and letting go of everything. So my body this last year and a half has really been acclimating to this high energy ground that I'm on right now. So anyway, as I was going through this, yeah, I would call it kind of like a dark state, because I was in depression, I was lost. And once again, I was praying to God. And I had channeled before when I was channeling in LA. I was channeling then. I was channeling Mother Ayahuasca. I was channeling. I was channeling Mother Gaia, but not Arion or any of that. But the channel had kind of calmed down, and I know why that kind of subsided, because I went and I did a channel one time at this place, and they put all their stuff on it, and then I believed it. They said it was hard and that I was making it up and that it wasn't real. And so I kind of believed it. So I kind of shut it down. So as I'm in this dark state, which it was like 6 months. Yeah, it was like 6 months of in this dark state of moving here, clearing out my life and realigning. I wasn't really, I had opened up an office, but nothing was really happening there. So I just asked God, and I asked my guides, and I asked for something to come through, to show me a different way, that there was another way than what I'm doing, because I was in this place of stuckness. I could feel myself in this place of stuckness. I was like cut off, even though I was proud of myself for making this move, now I have seen to love the grieving that I went through of letting go that lifetime. But at that time, I did not know that. So anyway, and you can feel it right now. So I'm sitting in the yard and I'm touching this tree, and all of a sudden, this comes out of me. It just like come out of me. It was just like, and my hands started moving, and I was like, and I knew that I didn't know what it meant, but it felt good. It felt good. It felt empowering. It felt healing. So then I started doing research. What is this that's coming out of me? And then I found out about tongues, and I remembered in Pentecostal, a lot of people spoke tongues, but I always thought that was weird. So yeah, now I know why all this is coming forward. You know what I mean? I had shut it down, blah, blah, blah. So it just started coming forward. And then through the light language, Arion started coming through. And Arion has shown me that, through this year and a half of going through this light language, of going through this expansion, this growth. Wow, validation of how much work I've done. And I just grow and grow every day. Every day I do my part. As soon as I open my eyes, I connect. I pull in my higher self. I pull in my authentic self. I pull in all my guides. I pull in what I want to see for the world to show me that day. And I pull in what I am wanting for my life. And I just completely let go. And so I have watched healers, especially moving up here to Mount Shasta. I've seen a lot of healers, and they work, and it's no judgment, but they work more from this. They work a little bit from the heart, but they work more from this. So they don't want to do old programs. They're saying, no, we don't got to do that. We don't got to go back and do our programs. We got to let go of all that stuff. Well, to me, it felt like there was always a heaviness to them in the background, and getting to know them and hearing in circles of the chaos, that is all coming forward. And that's what I mean, is that all of us who are in the background doing our work. I've been doing heavy duty work. You guys have watched me on my videos. Heavy duty work, hard work, hard work. All those who are not doing their hard work are going to do their hard work. They are. So that's why I know that all of us that are doing our hard work are kind of in the background, then we're going to explode forward. I feel it. I know it. I know it. It's to the core of me, because when the strength is needed, we will be there, because we've done all of our work. We've let all those programs go. So when we come in, when our light comes in, there's nothing holding it back. There's nothing that is playing in the background stopping us from being who we are. And that's where I'm taking you. And when I do a healing, when you do a healing or a reading and validation, my phone's going off. Wow. So when you're doing a healing and a reading, that's what I do. I help you past all those programs. I help you past all that stuff that you're attracted to, the things that attach you to, that you can't get rid of yourself. That's why I go to healers. There's so many things as you walk through your day that attach to you that you're not even aware of. So do healings. I do healings with the healer at least once a month. You should do a healing with the healer at least once a month to get those attachments off you. So you are a light being, as I am. My abilities are becoming stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. You guys are getting to witness it. And it's just by trusting the process. I work every day at being the best me that I can be. And by being that, I ask God, I ask the universe, I ask Source, I ask my guides to help me and to carry me through this experience at lightness and the road of least resistance. And most of it is. I can tell when I'm off the road and I'm hitting the wobbly thing on the right, on the side of the road. I can tell. I'm there. But all those programs I'm very proud of, because those programs have let me grow to this amazing being. All the stuff you went in your life, you chose to go through it. You chose that experience so you could grow past it, to move past it, to expand past it, and then just be. And then when you're just being, it ripples out. The love, the blessings ripple out. You don't even have to talk about any of that back there. That's the one thing I didn't want to bring forward, the hardness of any of that of my life. It's not hard to me at all anymore. I disengaged from it all. I learned from it, and I thank all the blessings. Every day, I ask my guides for validation in this world, and they show me. They show me. When I started connected, I started asking, I started empowering, and every day it changes. And if I get fixated on something and I think that's the way it's going to be, they always change it. Just to show that we have no control except right here in front of us. That's the only control we have. How are we reacting to our life? And that's what I'm helping you to teach you, to grow and expand from the inside. That was the one thing, is that, when the aliens were coming to me and they wanted me to show so I could see what I see myself as an alien. And I eventually did see it, but there was a lot of resistance for a long time with that. And what that resistance was is because I was thinking that it was an alien like you see on the movies. Nothing like that. Nothing. It was beautiful, like Avatar. Like Avatar all the way. And I know that that was a heartfelt movie. A lot of those characters we are already playing. We are already them in our lifetime. We are not just from this galaxy. We are coming from all over the galaxy. I've learned that. I work with the galactic beings. I work with, and I know because I allow them to come in. And that's why all of us of heart, of all powerful being, and I don't mean that we're better or bigger or anything. It doesn't mean any of that. It just means that we work only from heart. We only work from heart. That's it. Yeah. So And I know when I'm stepping off because then I feel unbalanced, I feel all wobbly, shit ain't lining up right. But sometimes that shit ain't lining up right because I need to look at why. Not so much why, but maybe look at it different, right? Because there's many different ways to look at anything that shows up in life. You can sit back in your life and you can, I was molested all through my life. So you could sit back and you could say, I was molested, going depression. Not me. It never brought me to that life depression. It made me into a winner. I conquered life a lot because of the molestation in my life. So you can look at life many different ways. But if you're going through something, it's a lesson to be learned. It's a lesson. There in that muck of darkness, there is light. Always, always, always there's light. So that's where they took me. Now, 5 years later, I'm doing all this. And I'm proud of me because I feel my energy when I watch my videos. When I watch my videos, I feel the power that I am. I see the power when I am around people and they are telling me, wow, you just make me feel better, right? Or they tell me, wow, you just look so bright. How come you always look so young and bright? Because my light's shining through. And there was a question, and I went into I comprehended it. Because one day this happened to me. And then I seen a comment on it about on Facebook, and it was a comment that if you're witnessing bad, if you're witnessing negative, and you don't do nothing about it, then you're not being the light. So I felt into that energy because I was witnessing at a Home Depot a negative. Okay, so what I did is I instantly set love. But the more I focused on it, the more I was drawn into, and then I was feeling the negative. So I pulled myself away and I sent love and I walked away. And I'm allowing the universe to do their work now. If we are focusing upon negative, that's what you are drawing into your experience. Whatever you're watching. If you're watching TV and you're focusing upon drama, you're bringing it into your experience. Your experience does not know this from TV. Your experience does not know the difference because in both worlds, it's a hologram. So whatever you're visualizing, that's what your experience is. So amazing because I can really see it in my kids and in my daughters. They watch all this drama stuff and then after they go through it, they're like, I don't know why I created that. And I have told them, but they don't get it yet. One day they will. They watch all this, they watch all that Kardashian, and they're wondering why they can't keep a man. Right. So whatever you're visualizing, be aware. Be aware. Because your story does not know which one is reality. To your story, it's all reality. So if you're watching fear-based stuff, that's going to be your experience, and especially now. So that's why all of us workers who have done their work and our heart is free to let us be to help who are not so free. Wow. And so all of us of heart are gonna, and I feel it conquering through. And we're not bigger and badder than anybody. We have sat back here and we've done a lot of work. And it is our time to shine. It is our time because we've done the work to shine. And I don't mean to shine as ego-based. I mean to shine in this world. To shine that this light is so bright that no one can miss it. No one. When you look at the world, you see all of our light shine out into this universe, out into this galaxy. We shine past this one. We are that bright. I am telling you, we are that powerful. Be the light you are. We all have stories to our background. Go within, do meditation. Meditation is the only way. Meditation. I do meditation in the morning, at least for 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes at night. If you just do 15 minutes in the daytime, and trust what comes in. And a lot of people say, I can't get out of the mind. Start counting. That's how I started meditating. I started counting. I would count, and this is what you do. You breathe, and then you clear your mind. And then something will pop in, and you're counting 1, 2, okay. And your second thought, something popped in. Now you gotta start over again. 1, 2, 3, got 3. Start all over again. Start all over again. You'll notice that your numbers will get higher, and you'll notice that eventually you'll count so high and nothing will be popping in. So just breathe, breathe, breathe. Listen to YouTube meditation. There's thousands of out there, and they help and guide you. Listen to meditations as you're going to sleep. They're very powerful to your body. Watch what you eat. Our bodies are going through a great expansion too. Our energy field. We are going through this switch of life. This is so funny because what keeps coming into my mind is eucalyptus, but maybe we need to burn eucalyptus, and maybe we need to be around eucalyptus because that's what they're showing. In this eclipse time, maybe you need to breathe in eucalyptus. And I'm getting that like big time, eucalyptus. So breathe in the oils of eucalyptus, smell eucalyptus, burn it in your, a lot of people have eucalyptus in their, around their house. Do eucalyptus. For some reason, it keeps coming up, keeps coming up, keeps coming up. So I'm going to put eucalyptus in my infusers and run them through my house. So this is very powerful energies. You came here to be. You matter. Your energy matters. You matter, you matter, you matter. If you are thinking, and I'm telling you right now, if you are thinking about somebody else, you're off the track with you. This life is about you. The story is about you. So I help you to become the best you that you can be. May you be blessed. If you want a reading or healing, email me. Accelerate your base. If you want a reading or healing, subscribe to my channel. May you all be blessed. I just love you guys. I do.